How do you know if you're improving? Stay tuned. Hey, this is Damon from NLP Gym, bringing you cutting-edge Neuro Linguistic Programming tools and techniques to help you create the life that you desire. So if that sounds good, please click subscribe to this YouTube channel so you can get these videos on a regular basis. So you're into personal development, you're into improving yourself, you want to be the best version of yourself. That's too vague. That's part of the problem with trying to improve yourself, to develop yourself, and not really knowing if it's working. Because that idea of just improving yourself is not clear enough, not specific enough. So what happens when you start to chunk this down and get very specific about where in your life do you want to improve? So being the best version of yourself, okay, where in your life do you want to be a better version? Or what would the best version of you look like and sound like? Now, you can go with that. There's the swish pattern, which is very effective and uses that concept of using an image of the ideal you. And that can be very helpful. But when you're really getting down to, how do I know that I'm improving? How do I measure this? You have to get specific about where in your life you want to improve and the areas of you that you want to improve. You have to hone in on that and chunk that down. So it might be your career. So what would be being the best version of yourself in your career? And what would improvement look like? What would it sound like? What would you be doing differently? If I were to watch that movie of you improving in your career, what would I see? What would I hear? This is where you start to get very specific. And when I say specific, I'm really talking about connecting with sensory-based experience. Until you do that, it's very, very conceptual. And if it's really conceptual and unclear, it's really hard to measure it, and it's really hard to know if you're actually improving. Once you can be more specific about the different areas where you want to improve, and I'm not saying at all that you need to only have one. You can have 3, 4, 5 areas of your life where you want to improve. You just need to get more specific and chunk that down and see it and hear it. Like, what is the sensory-based experience, not just the conceptual, I want to be better. Well, what does better actually look like? So once you have this specifics down and you know where in your life you want to improve, you know what that looks like, you know what that sounds like, you need to reach down deep into your unconscious and find out what's motivating this. What is your why? That's a common way of phrasing it. What is your big why? To me, it's values. It's what are your values? And for most of us, this is deeply unconscious. What's really motivating us a lot of times is very, very unconscious. So you want to go in there and ask yourself with each one of these, what's important to me about improving in this area, or doing this or doing that? What's important to me about this? And what is this going to do for me? And you just keep asking these questions, and you go deeper and deeper and deeper, and then you go to it'll lead you to these really high level values like happiness, peace, joy, passion, creativity. And when you start doing that and you start connecting these high level values of yours to the area of your life, to the activity, to what you see in your mind, to what you hear in your mind, this just loads this with so much meaning for you. And it will also get you motivated. You'll want to move in this direction because it's exciting. The idea of fulfilling your values, living your values, this is what pure motivation is about. And once you have a visual and the auditory and the kinesthetic attached to all this meaning, look out. This is when things start to get really interesting and your life starts to improve rapidly. The next thing you need to do is have a way to measure your progress. If you're not clear about that, if you say, well, I don't know how to measure my progress and what it is that I want or where I want to improve, then you're not very clear about what you want to improve. Go back to step 1, which is getting clear and getting specific about what it is that you want. It should be very clear at this stage 3, which is being able to measure your results. So let's say you want to be the best version of yourself, and the best version of yourself is someone who is physically healthy. Well, if you just say something like, well, I want to eat better, I want to eat healthier. Again, that's way too vague. What does that actually mean? What are you actually going to eat? How many meals a day are you going to eat? Are you going to track calories? What kind of foods will you be eating that maybe you're not eating now? So getting very specific about that, and down to like how much weight do you want to lose? What do you want your blood pressure to be at? What do you want your cholesterol to be at? These are the type of specifics that I'm talking about. When you're this specific, it's easy to measure. You go get your cholesterol, your blood sugar, your blood pressure tested, see where you're at right now. Talk to your doctor. What would be a healthy levels in all 3 of these for you? Between where you are now and where you want to be, that's how you measure the progress. Very, very simple. If it's weight, you weigh yourself on the scale today, you know how much weight you want to lose, and then you know by weighing yourself daily or almost daily how to measure your progress. So again, with the measuring your progress, and this is essential, you need to have a way to measure your progress, otherwise you don't know if you're improving. Like I said, being very specific will make measuring your progress very, very easy. And again, if you're not sure how to measure the progress, you're not clear enough. Go back to step 1. Last but not least is, when do you want this? So you want to set sort of a deadline, sort of a time frame. You got to be careful with this one, because you can, if you try to squeeze something in that is really not going to happen, like you would have to overwhelm yourself, push yourself too hard, or you're not really aware of what it takes to get the kind of improvement that you want. This can take longer than what you initially set out to, and it can feel discouraging if you don't do it in the time that you set. So you want to set a realistic time frame, and you also want to give yourself some room to breathe on this one. If you're trying to improve in a way that you've never improved before, you're doing something completely new, you're going to have to give yourself some room to breathe on this, because it could take longer and you don't want to discourage yourself. So be realistic about this one, but you want to have some sort of time frame, some sort of deadline, because otherwise there's no urgency and you're not likely to do it. So set a time frame of when you want this. And the other piece that most people miss on this one is, think of an exit plan. And you might be thinking, exit plan? Why would I want to exit improving myself? And the reason for this is, how long do you want to keep this up in this area? So there's all these different ways in which you can improve yourself, and all these areas in your life that you want to improve. If you only stick to 1, 2, or 3, you're kind of neglecting other parts of your life. You're neglecting other parts of you. So you want to have an idea of how much you want to improve in a certain area, and then know exactly where that is. So maybe it's lose the 20 pounds. Well, if you lose 20 pounds and that puts you right at the weight you want to be, and what your doctor says is healthy, you don't want to keep losing weight. You need to stop. You need to exit that plan, exit that strategy, and move into a maintenance plan. Then the plan then becomes, how do I maintain my weight, not how do I lose more weight? So what happens for a lot of people is they lose the weight. They don't have an exit plan. They don't have a strategy now. They know they don't want to lose any more weight. So they just kind of let go of a plan. They end up gaining all the weight back because they don't have a plan. They don't have a strategy. They just know that they need to stop losing weight. So that's a good example of exiting. Okay, I need to stop losing weight. Maintenance. How do I maintain this weight? How much do I need to eat? What do I need to eat? How much do I need to exercise to just maintain this? So the same goes for every area of your life where you want to improve. Know how good you want to get, or how much you want to improve that area, and then say, okay, at this point I exit and I go into a maintenance plan. At this point I exit and then I go to this other area of my life that I need to improve, and then go work on that. So know when you want the improvement. You know when you want to be, how good it is you want to be, or how much improved you want to be. And then exit and switch to a maintenance plan, or go to another area of your life. Have something that have an end point at some point, and then know what you want to do after that. Check out my website, nlp-gym.com. There you will find some free NLP training and some free hypnotic inductions. You can access these immediately by just downloading them to your phone, your laptop, or your tablet. Check out NLP Gym on Facebook. There you'll get real-time updates on whatever it is I'm up to. If I'm releasing a new training, doing a talk in your area, or teaching a workshop, you will find it on the NLP Gym Facebook page. I also have a private NLP Gym Facebook group. Check that one out as well. If you like this video, please click like right down here. And of course, if you have not subscribed already, please do so now by clicking the subscribe button right down here. Take care.